Do you frequently feel you do not have enough money to grow your business? If so, I want to show you why that is. There's a number of reasons that could be the case. The one I'm about to demonstrate, I believe, is the single most common, and I'm going to call it a cash flow problem. So you have a problem with the flow of money in and out of your business. The other reason you might have a problem growing the business is you are simply underpricing work. Therefore, you're not profitable. Profit is what builds cash. Profit is what you use to reinvest in the business, to hire people, do more marketing. You don't have enough of it. Therefore, you just keep, or maybe you're going negative and you just keep getting further and further behind. The third reason is you've accumulated too much debt in previous years, possibly because you grew too fast, possibly because you were underpricing. There's a variety of reasons why you could have ended up with too much debt. Those are three of the biggest offenders that will hold you back from growing your business. I believe that generally the number one offender, especially early in the business, is what I want to show you. Your cash flow doesn't work the way you think it works, and it's why you don't have any money. So I'm going to show you an example. And the example that I'm going to show you is a little bit overstated. It's a little bit over illustrated. It's not perfectly real world. My goal is not to have perfect numbers. My goal is to communicate a concept so that you understand how money works inside your business. And by understanding this, you then can fix it. So let me show you the illustration based on the concept that you are either a $1 million business now or you desire to be a $1 million business. 1 million is the dream for many. At least get there. That's a huge accomplishment. Okay, so imagine, again, it's kind of a silly example, not a perfect example, but imagine that you're starting the year on January 1st. So I need you to just imagine several things. You're going to be a $1 million business from day number one. Like you're a brand new business, you just started on January 1st, and magically you have somehow $83,333 a month coming in. If you sum that up across 12 months, that gives you a $1 million business. So from day one, you're making 83 grand a month. Not only that, your money is coming in perfectly. It's coming in at an exact even amount, $83,000 a month, 12 months of the year. And we all know that's not how money flows into our business. Some months we make less, other months we make a lot more, and it moves around. But for the sake of my example, you've got to go with me on those two concepts. All right. So now let's also imagine that you're profitable. You're making about 15% profit on your business. So what that means is that in month one, January, I'm at the top left, you're going to bring in $83,000. You have a cost to produce that work. Roughly 85% of the revenue generated is an expense to the organization to produce the work. In my example, you're making about 15% profit. Therefore, you had $70,000 in cost to generate the work. The way you operate as a company is you perform the work for a month, and at the end of the month, you generate an invoice, and then you send those invoices to your clients who can pay you within 30 days. Net 30 is what it's called. It's pretty common. And so another thing you're just going to have to go with me on that's over exaggerated for the sake of my example is that you do all the work for a month, you bill at the end of the month. That's not exaggerated. Tons of companies do that. But what happens is all of the money from the invoices at the end of January actually comes in on the last day of February, February 28th. And that's very unrealistic. You're going to invoice on the first day of February for January's work. You're going to mail out those invoices, email those invoices, and some of the money is going to be trickling in all month long. So you're going to be getting money periodically. Quite a bit of it will come in after the 15th of the month, but it's going to trickle in. But in my example, we're going to imagine you're not going to receive $1 until February 28th. And this is the core of the illustration. This is how I want to set this up so that you understand how money works inside your organization and why you don't have enough of it. All right, so in January, you had zero money in because you produced the work all of January, and at the end of January or February 1, you generated your invoices. So in my hypothetical example, you have zero money coming in. You're saying, well, that's not true. And it's not true because right now, you are in the midst of already operating a business. So in your whatever month you're in right now, let's say you're in April, you are receiving money in April because you're getting paid from clients from February and March. But if you were a brand new company starting on day number one, then you wouldn't have any money coming in as you just started the business. Okay, so but you still had to incur all the expense. You had to pay payroll, overhead, office, insurance, all those things. So you had $70,000 go out the door. So in January, you have zero income, but you wrote a check for $70,000. February is the same thing. $83,000 comes in, $83,000 in earned income. You did the work to earn $83,000. You'll bill that on March 1. And then but you had to pay for the work to get done. You had all the company expenses. And so you had $70,000 in expense. So at the end of that month, you had another $70,000 go out. And then right at the very end of February, in my example, you start getting all your money. And so you're really now receiving it all into your bank account in March. And so in my example, same thing, income, you generated $83,000 worth of work in March, you had $70,000 in cost, meaning to produce the work. But the great thing about March is you had just started getting all your money. So magically, right on that last day of February, $83,000 came in. So you've got it sitting in your bank account on March 1. And it came in from the invoices that were generated at the end of January, the most likely February 1, you generated the January invoices, and all that money on net 30 terms, meaning they could pay you within 30 days of receiving their invoice, suddenly all came in. You've got $83,000 in your bank account on March 1, but you still have another $70,000 worth of cost to produce March's $83,000 in work. So if you now look down here, money in, nothing in for January, nothing in for February. Suddenly March 1 or last day of February, you got all $83,000 and that came in. But all the while, throughout January, $70,000 left your account. February, $70,000 left your account. And then by the end of March, you've got another $70,000 left. The point here is, look, now this is your bank balance. So negative 70, another 70, you went negative $141,000 to produce the work while you were waiting on your money to come in by the very end of February. So on March 1st, as I said, you got your $83,000 from January. And you still, by the end of that month, incurred another $70,000 in costs. So this is your bank balance. You went negative as much as 141 by the end of February because now you started to get some money in. You were only negative 129 in March. Only negative 116 in April. So you're very, very slowly catching up. And the way you're catching up is actually based on profit. Your profit, the 15% that you're making, is helping you pay down this debt. But you're running behind 2 months. And this is the point. For you to be able to finance the business and grow this business, you have to have saved enough money to be able to float the negative balance, or you have to have a line of credit. Those are really your two options. And so if you are going to run as much as $141,000 negative, then what that means is somewhere along the lines in your business, so to be able to run $1 million business, to be able to do $1 million a year, knowing that you're always floating about 2 months worth of work, money, the money that cost you to produce the work in the first month, then generate the invoices, and then the money that it cost you to produce the work in the second month while you're waiting to get paid by the end of that month for the very first month's work. I've already pointed that out. I hope I'm being clear on this. But you can see how much money you would hypothetically have to float, essentially have saved, to be able to build $1 million business. And this is the worst part about it. Not only how do you get there? Well, somewhere along the way, because clearly my example is fictitious in that you don't just start the business as $1 million business making $83,000 from month one. Reality is you built up to this. And so in previous years, as you were building up to $1 million business, you had to have saved a lot of money to be able to run $1 million business. You had to have saved that money in your bank account, meaning you couldn't take that money out of your account. For most, you don't even realize you have saved this money ever so slowly because all this money is being loaned out to your clients while you're waiting on them to pay you. So in my example here, to be able to have $141,000 in the bank, if you're not even in the highest tax bracket, and by saving lots of money quickly, that can bump you into a high tax bracket, even though you're not getting to take the money home, it's because that money's building in your account. To the IRS, it looks like you're in a high tax bracket, but you're not really. You're taking home a lot less money, but because you're saving and retaining money, it bumps you into the next tax bracket. So I'm using a 30% tax bracket. It could be understated if you're growing your cash balances quickly, if you're saving money quickly. But in my example, you'd have to save $210,000. So you'd have to make $210,000 in profit over the years that you never take home, that you don't reinvest in the business, that you don't pay down debt with, then pay taxes on it at 30%, meaning you pay $63,000 in tax, to have $147,000 left over so that you can finance the $141,000 that you're essentially loaning your clients. And here's the concept. The reason you can't grow your company as fast as you want to, or you feel like you're hitting a wall, is because you don't have enough money. The reason you probably don't have enough money is because you may not understand how much money it takes to finance the running of the business while you're waiting to get paid from your clients. You are essentially loaning money to your clients for free. So if you mow their lawn or trim their bushes or treat their lawn on January 1 and you don't bill them until the end of January, you incurred all the cost to produce that work and you gave them an interest-free loan all the way until the end of the month. And at the end of the month, you sent them an invoice and said, hey, that work I did at the beginning of the month, I'd like you to pay me for that in the next 30 days. You just gave them another 30-day interest-free loan. So you essentially loaned them 60 days, 2 months worth of money for free. And the reason you say, well, I didn't loan them money. Well, you did, because you spent 85% of every dollar you make goes into producing the work. So that work, that money you spent to produce the work that they benefited from was money you essentially loaned to them. It's the exact same concept. And so you have to have enough money built up to make all those loans. That is what's going on. And because you're loaning out so much money, you never look at your bank account and say, oh, I got $141,000 sitting in your account. No, you don't, because you've been writing all these checks along the way to produce the work. And so that has eaten up the 141. And essentially it's a loan. The solution is to figure out how to get paid in advance or get paid fast. In my world, it's credit cards. Credit cards solved all these problems. I do the work, I get paid. I don't have to float any money. I don't make any interest-free loans. I never had to build up these big giant bank account balances. And if I had to build them up, I would have had to have grown so much slower, because I would have never had the money to go hire office people and operations people and all the people that I need. I wouldn't have had the money to buy trucks and equipment as fast as I did. I wouldn't have had the money to do marketing. I wouldn't have had the money to do all those things, because I would have been constantly saving, building a balance big enough to allow me to run a business like this. That was, to run $1 million business, hypothetically, it's actually a lower number than this, might have to have as much as 141,000. That 141,000 doesn't even give you a safety net. Like if the economy were to turn, or you were to have an accident, or something bad were to happen, you had to write a $30,000 check. That 141, you don't even have that money, because that's on loan to your client. So if you want a safety net in your business, you got to not only build that amount of money, the 141, by saving 210,000, you've got to then save even more money, pay taxes on that money just to give yourself a safety net. So you can see, if you're constantly trying to save up enough money to be able to finance $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million business, just how hard that is. And that's why it takes so many companies a decade or 15 years to build those types of businesses. But they can be built so much more quickly when you have your money. When you are not waiting on your money, you close the gap between when you incurred the cost to do the work and the day in which you recovered that money. If you shorten that window, or even better, you get paid before you even incur the cost, it's magical. You don't have to spend years and years and years building this big account balance and saving this money. You can take all that money right now and you can reinvest it in marketing and sales, buying trucks and equipment, hiring the people you need on your team. This is one of the single most important concepts in business, and very, very few companies understand why they don't have money, why they can't grow, why there's never enough money in their bank account to go hire awesome people to help them run the company. Now, if you're charging credit cards and you're getting paid immediately and you still don't have money, then that's where I'd really start looking closely using job costing and underpricing. Is your work profitable? Are there certain jobs that are costing you money? Or maybe you're profitable in maintenance, but you're losing money on design build. Maybe you're super profitable in one service line, but you're unprofitable in others. If you look at it and you're like, hey, all my clients are profitable, we're earning the man-hour rate we need, all of the segments of our business are profitable, then could it be that you dug a big hole in years past, and that big hole is one of lots of debt, and it's just going to take you years to dig out from under this debt? Could be, there's other factors. Those are the big three. In my mind, the single biggest is the one I just showed you. So in the next video, I'm going to show you why your profit loss statement, the money at the bottom where it says you made X amount of money, never matches your bank balances. And if you're often wondering, like, where's my money? It says, my financial statement says I'm doing good, or the software solution says I'm doing good, but where's the money? Because it isn't in my bank account. So that's that. If you're interested, I just finished doing a 4-part training series on a whole variety of topics around sales and estimating. This topic right here, where I go into a lot more detail than what I just went into, whole variety of topics. And I did it for our Service Autopilot members. And it's about an hour and a half worth of training. There's 4 sessions. About 80% of it is exactly this. It's business training, and about 20% at the very end is showing them our automation system. So if you have any interest in learning anything about those 4 sessions, like I go into great detail about this and credit cards, and it's all business. It's all applicable. Even if you have zero interest in Service Autopilot automations or our software, you could watch these videos, my training, and 80% of it is all take it home, actionable. You can implement it, take those ideas, and about 20% has to do with our software. If you're not interested, you can ignore that part completely and just watch the beginning of the video, and you'll get real value to go apply. So the 4th of that 4-part series that I did was on this exact topic, and I go into much greater detail than what I just showed you here. So if you're interested in this, you can put in your email address below, and I just talked to our team here to make sure this was doable, and we will send you the recording of those 4 videos. And so thanks for listening. If you have questions, post them below, because I'm happy to answer more questions on this. I am really passionate about this specific topic because companies don't realize this is what's holding them back. But this is how money really flows through your organization, and this is what's really going on. Have a great week.